So, today we are going to continue solving cooperative work problems. We will use the table to write down the conditions. And so, the terms of the problem. 3 workers worked together and completed the work in 12 hours. The first worker can do the work in 24 hours. The second worker can do this work in 40 hours. At what time will the third worker complete this work if he works alone? Let's record the necessary data in our table. 3 workers did the work in 12 hours. I have written down the first worker plus the second worker plus the third worker and record the work time of 12 hours. The first worker can do this work in 24 hours. The second worker can do this work in 40 hours. In how many hours can the third worker do this job if he works alone? Now let's solve this problem. Let's remember the formula. To find the time, we need to divide the work by the productivity. But in our condition, 3 workers did the work in 12 hours. So we need to find the productivity of the 3 workers. The first one plus the second worker and plus the third worker. Remember, in order to find the productivity, we have to divide work by time. Then 1 divided by 12 is the productivity of 3 workers. But if the productivity of 3 workers is 1 divided by 12, then the productivity of 3 workers is the productivity of the first worker plus the productivity of the second worker plus the productivity of the third worker. Using this formula, we can find the productivity of the third worker. But first we need to find the productivity of the first worker. Recall how we need to find the productivity. If work is 1, then the productivity of the first worker is 1 divided by 24. And the productivity of the second worker is 1 divided by 40. We have found with you the productivity of 3 workers is 1 divided by 12. Let's substitute our value into our formula. The productivity of 3 workers is 1/12. The productivity of the first worker is 1/24, and the productivity of the second laborer is 1/40. We don't know the productivity of the third laborer, but you and I can find the productivity of the third worker if we subtract 1/24 and 1/40 from 1/12. Let's write it down. The productivity of the third worker is 1/12 minus 1/24 and minus 1/40. As a result, let's calculate the common denominator and find the productivity. The common denominator is 120. The additional multiplier is 10, the additional multiplier is 5, and the additional multiplier is 3. The result is 10 times 1 is 10, minus 5 times 1 is 5, and minus 1 times 3 is 3. The productivity of the third worker is 2 divided by 120. Let's reduce this fraction. Let's divide the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2. Let's get a fraction 1/60. And now we have found the productivity of the third worker. And we need to find the time in which the third worker will do this work. Recall that to find the time, we need to divide the work by the productivity. The work is equal to 1, so the time of the third worker is 1 divided by productivity. Let's write down 1 first divided by 1/60. 1 first times 61st. And we get the answer 60. In 60 hours. The third worker will perform this job in the next lesson. We'll continue solving cooperative work problems. And that's all for today. Goodbye. See you again.